Look, they gave a bitch 2 options, stripping or lose. Used to dance in a club right across from my school. I said dance, nah, fuck, don't get it confused. Had to set the record straight cause bitches love to assume. Mama couldn't give it to me, had to get it in suits. Lord only knows how I got it in suits. I was covered in dollars, now I'm dripping in jewels. A bitch play with my money, might as well spit in my food. Bitches hating my guts, now they swear we was cool. Went from making tuna sandwiches to making the news. I started speaking my mind and triple my views. Real bitch, only thing fake is the boobs. Get money, go hard, motherfucking right. Never been a fraud in my motherfucking life. Get money, go hard, damn fucking right. Stun on these bitches out of motherfucking spite. Ain't no running to bore me, went for nothing to glory. I ain't telling y'all to do it, I'm just telling my story. I don't hang with these bitches cause these bitches be corny. And I got enough bras, y'all ain't gotta support me. I went from rag to riches, went from wig to lit, nigga. Only person in my fam to see 6 figures. The pressure on your shoulders feel like boulders. Where you gotta make sure that everybody's straight. Bitches stab you in your back while they smiling in your face. Talking crazy on your name, trying not to catch a case. I waited my whole life just to shit on niggas. Climbed to the top floor so I could spit on niggas. Said I was just trying to chill and make bangers. Tell all these old bitches they in danger. The thing on my hip with bitches in the shape. That's what I call a fucking waist trainer. You gon' run up on who and do what? I think y'all got your story screwed up. I came here to bar, is you nuts? I don't want your punk ass man, I'm too tough. I'm the one that's killing shit, hands down. If you got a problem with me, say it now. Cause I don't wanna hear no sneak dissing. Especially not from one you weak bitches. I'm on go like I don't see no stoplight. I'm stepping out every day, prom night. So if it's all love, show me love then. Cause you hating on the bitches, what it sound like. Mo, it's how I give it up, nigga. Hoodie, low, it's how I'm pulling up. Just cause I've been on the road, don't mean I've been on the run. And you gon' have to learn to hold your tongue or hold the gun. And we all know you ain't that type. I smack you in the bitch that you act like. I started getting money, bitches upset. They remind me of my pussy, bitches mad tight. Nails done, hair laid, keep them both laced. Come through shining with them, rolly bust face. Headshot, headshot, tell them go skate. And no bitch feeling like this is so wait. I don't trust no nigga, I don't fear no bitch. Whole life been through some fucked up shit. They say I'm too that, oh, I'm too this. When you see what I seen, you end up like this. I walked into the label with a check at. Cardi B on the charts and expect that.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. How are y'all doing out there? It's your girl Rob, and it's my special guest Sonia.
Hello.
We are here today. As you all know, that we're doing a series of achieving greatness after incarceration. So we're talking to individuals that have been down that rough road, that dirt road. That's what I'm gonna call it, the dirt road, and came on back on the pavement, on the blacktop, as we call it, the asphalt, and smooth sailing. And so the first couple episodes, you know, Real has been doing it, and so now I'll be doing it because I'll be speaking with Miss Sonia and interviewing a couple other ladies for our series. And so, Ms. Struthers, welcome to Can We Talk podcast. We appreciate you for your time, your patience, and just wanting to share your story with us and our viewers. So we thank you for that. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me.
You ready to go? I guess.
Yeah.
So Ms. Struthers, tell us a little bit about your background and your journey. And well, let me ask you this. What is it that you do now?
I'm a truck driver.
Okay. And how long you been doing that?
4 years.
Okay. So previously, before you started doing truck driving, what was your profession? What did you do?
I've had a medical background. I've been a CNA, medical assistant. I took dental assistant. So just medical background. And I don't feel like that was me. You know, I felt like I was being pushed because everybody says go medical, you know, that's the background. But that was not me. So I was never really happy doing that.
So you learned what? You had to walk your what?
Walk my walk. I had to walk my walk.
And not what everybody else was saying.
Right.
See? So in the midst of that, before you got into the medical background and doing all of that, what were your hobbies and what was your desire and your drive then prior to getting into the medical field? Because when you're doing medical for real, you got to kind of pipe it on down a little bit because you're doing medical. So what were you doing before you found yourself doing medical? What had
that
you
was
on,
all I did from 18.
what had you on the back road? Like your rough patch?
My choices in men had me on the back road, and I always wanted to be the ride or die chick. So being that person got me caught up in situations that led me to where I am now. And I became to be a truck driver because I liked income. And being a CNA wasn't getting the money that I wanted. So. I mean, that's what happened.
Yes. So basically, tell us about your time with being incarcerated and what you learned and how long you spent and just the ins and outs of your journey of what led you up to being arrested and just talking to the people, because really this series is for people to learn from my experience of what not to do and what to do,
right,
and understanding that we can achieve greatness after incarceration and certain background, certain charges on our background. It doesn't dictate or determine our future anyway. So tell us a little bit about your story and how you got caught up, because I feel like young ladies need to hear this, especially from you. Like for me, I said, friends led me to that little, just being there and being that ride or die friend, and I ain't gonna say nothing and what up, you know what I mean? Right. We in this together. But in your situation, which we know that this is a lot of women fall subject to the prison system because of a man. Right. So tell us a little bit about your story.
Well, I mean, I just grew up regular from my childhood, what I feel is regular, I guess in the hoods, as they say, or whatever. So I always, was attracted to a drug dealer type guy. That's what I like. The fast money, the fast cars, all of that type of stuff. And so that was always my preference in men. And so by choosing those type of things, it led me being locked up because I got in a situation and I wanted to be the ride or die one. I didn't want to tell, I didn't want to do this. So I got sentenced to 5 years in federal prison. And I did 2.5 years. And then I went to Texas for boot camp. And I went to boot camp for 6 months. And so basically
You went to where? Texas?
Mm-hmm.
They sent you all the way to Texas?
Because that's all I had in federal for boot camps.
Ladies, young ladies, let me tell y'all something. They took her, because a lot of times when you're doing county and you locked up with people around the way, right? But when it's federal, you ain't with that boy no more.
No.
You ain't with that man no more. You was in another state. Actually, you was our way on the West Coast.
Yeah. I was
doing
in
time.
West Virginia.
Because they will send you where they got space for you.
Right.
So
I went to boot camp. I did 2.5 years in federal prison in West Virginia. And then I went to boot camp for 6 months. And then after that, I went to the halfway house. And then, I came home and I got sentenced to 5 years. And I did my time. And when I came home, of course, I was still young, so I still wanted to hang out. I still wanted to party. I still wanted to do all these things. And then I got pregnant. And then after I got pregnant, I had somebody else to worry about, and that was my son. So he basically just changed my life, and from that point on, I always knew I wanted to do better.
Right.
Because I had a reason to. Mm-hmm. And that was that.
But what was so after being incarcerated and you come out and you had, because what was your charge? The possession or conspappiracy?
No, just possession. Just possession.
So when you had to go, when you had to apply for jobs, and like, what was your challenges for applying for jobs and applying for houses? When you because now when you apply for a house, in which I kind of can't remember back then, during our time when we first started getting apartments, I think they did used to look at your background.
Yeah, they look at your background, and as far as jobs go, I just always, and that's what they teach you, is like, look at the wording of it. It's like, have you ever been incarcerated, or have you had a charge in 7 years? It's just about the wording, and then just going to present yourself and saying, like you say, I will discuss doing an interview or something like that, and then just being honest, and eventually somebody will give you a chance. You're going to get shot down a lot of times.
Right.
But it's up to you to just keep getting up and keep, trying again, and just don't accept being told no. I just never accepted being told no. Every time they told me no, I went another way and I tried something else, and I just kept on pushing myself.
Whatever's good. So how was your support system with your family and your friends? And did you even, let me let you answer that question first.
Wow.
How was your support system with your friends and your family?
My support system was really good. It was great. I can, I'm thankful.
Yeah.
I'm blessed.
Because some people, some family, and some people be like,
yeah, nah.
So yours was good. So the times that you got told no for employment, like, what was your thoughts and your feelings, and like, what tools did you use to overcome the no? Because sometimes a go-getter is just, sometimes it's in the person's DNA.
That's what I mean. I'm just a self, so every time I got told no, it was just something inside of me that I just wouldn't let myself be defeated.
Right. So if I come to you and say, well, Sonia, could you give me some tools on how to move forward when I hit the word no, or like, what made you keep pushing and pushing and pushing besides you just being a go-getter? Like
my son, just knowing that I wanted something greater, and just knowing that greater was within me. Right. You know what I mean? I just didn't feel like this is not what I came here for. This is not what I came to do. So I'm just going to keep pushing and keep striving. And I'm just not going to take no for an answer. One time, I knew I wasn't going to get the job. You hear me? I knew I wasn't going to get it. But I tried anyway.
Right.
I wanted to go be a correctional officer. For real.
Did you?
Yes, at the juvenile.
I was
at
the fan.
No, hell no. Oh.
This is what we do.
At the juvenile, girl. I knew they was going to tell me no. But guess what? It was something within me that I still wanted to get dressed. I wanted to go to that interview, and I just wanted to present myself. And they really, really liked me. But because of my background, of course, they couldn't hire me. But they said if I get it expunged, they will hire me. Because I was a win-win situation for them, because I've been on the inside and the outside.
Right.
But I didn't go back. But I knew I wasn't going to get the job.
And I think me personally, I really feel that they need to. I understand that you hire people and you do have to look at people's backgrounds.
Right.
But I feel like it has to come a time besides 7 years, and you look at the situation at hand and say, you know what, we're not going to automatically let you not have a job because of your experience with your background. Because people do change.
Well, personally, my opinion, I think 7 years is a good time.
Right.
Because you have the chance to come home, redevelop yourself, get your mindset set straight, get your company, get your environment. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter, if you say, yes, okay, I can go 2 years, I ain't been in no trouble. But if you still got the same mindset, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so 7 years is a good time for you to go through all the phases that you need to go through, and to transition how you need to transition.
Yeah, but I think 7 years, me personally,
is too much.
It's harsh because, again, you know how much stuff you can have done in 7 years if you really don't want to go back? You can have a lot of stuff done in 7 years, and we all got to take responsibility for what we signed up for, but that's the point of doing the time. You're supposed to have that mindset with doing them 5 years. You see what I'm saying? So,
but I didn't.
Right, I'm saying you didn't, but some people do. And you had hiccups, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure since then, I'm not sure of that, but I'm saying you have had hiccups, but some people come out and they really straight and narrow. But again, the system always says you're here for rehabilitation. Right. Do you really feel like you was rehabilitated in them 5 years?
Mentally, honest and truly, yeah. I mean, okay.
You was rehabilitated.
I wasn't rehabilitated all the way, but it did teach me a lot. And I am really glad that I went to prison. I am really glad that I went to boot camp. I'm not going to sit here and say, I should have never done it. No, I should have done everything that I needed to do because it led me to be where I am. When I went to boot camp, they woke me up at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, shaking in my fucking beds, throwing the mattresses everywhere, you know, and I needed that. I needed self-discipline. That is what taught me, you know, so everybody is different, but I feel like, yes, I needed it.
Right. So if you got your 5 years of rehabilitation, of being incarcerated, because you got punishment for your charge, you still feel like, so 7 more years after that, that's 12 years of rehabilitation.
I do, because you know what? Then when I came home, and there they mentally transition you. You know what I'm saying? So you're locked up. So you're already routine. You're scheduling. And you're doing this because they're making you do it. But when you come home, they're not making you do nothing. It's up to you to do that. So therefore, you're going to have downfalls. You're going to go through all these different transitions. And it's really going to be up to you to see if you're mentally capable to do everything that you've been learned to do in there. So yeah, 7 years. I mean, yeah, because you're going to fall short in 2 years. You're going to fall right back to where you was. And if you don't want it bad enough.
Right, yeah, but it goes back to if you don't want it bad enough. But what tools did you, and this is for the ones, because like you said, when you came home, you just, I ain't going back. I'm not doing more time. Have you done any more time?
Nope.
Exactly.
Not even a ticket.
Right, because you said this is not for me.
Right.
So that was your time. So over the course of the 7 years and the 5 years, because we have had discussions where, you know, I can't do this and I can't do that, which was surprising for you, because you had a distribution that you was even able to get in the medical
possession.
Well, you had the possession. Okay.
Get it straight, because in the fences make a big difference.
Okay. Well, possession. So what did that look like for you when you applied in the medical? Because that's a big thing in the medical field. Because I know a couple people that had a possession or distribution, and they went to school and they did everything. And when it's time to go to the state boards and they ran their background, they couldn't even get their nursing license because they had a drug charge.
Well,
and it was, I'm talking about probably past the 7 years.
Yeah.
But it'd be stuff like that.
As far as being a CNA and having a drug charge, it all depends on if it's considered a barrier crime. And that was not considered a barrier crime. So I was still able to be a CNA. I was still able to pass medication after, you know, so many years of being a CNA, because it, again, you know, they don't really frown upon it as they did when it's a new charge. But I even, when I wanted to be a medical assistant, I originally wanted to be an LPN. And I couldn't be an LPN because I had to do some of my training in the prison, and I had to get a background check, and they wouldn't approve me to go to the prisons, and I wouldn't pass the background check. So I had to step down and be a medical assistant. So sometimes, you know, the drug charges and things like that, they do matter, you know, as far as your medical and passing medication and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah. And it's challenging, you know, for women, because especially when you got a kid and you talking, you know, because my thing was like, I didn't get into that depth of, you know, the drugs or robbery or anything like that. But I know for me, I started to feel like, because my choices started to come after I had kids. So like I said, when I did mine, it was like you were choosing your friends over your kids. Because again, anytime you catch a charge as an adult and you got kids, it doesn't only affect you, it affects your kids. Because if you can't get out there and you can't be sufficient enough to get a job because you got a charge pending or you have another charge, you know what I'm saying? It's like, now you got to go home and tell your kids, I can't get the job, I didn't get the job or whatever.
I went through that.
And look, and then your friends over here like, oh, you want to go do it again? And you're like, well, hold the fuck. You know what I'm saying? So it's you know.
Well, that comes with the company that you keep.
Exactly. Exactly. And so moving forward, but then that's the thing that you got to learn to weed out. And it's not even about the company. It is about the company that you keep, but it's about the choices that you make. Because you can be around certain people that do certain things, but when they into certain shit, you just gotta know when to exit the building and exit the stage left. And I'm just not, you know, condone or just don't want to be, you know, a part of that.
But you still can have friends that think that when you fucked up, that it's cool, that it's all right. And then you got some other friends that might be like going to tell you the right thing, like, nah, you shouldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? You should try harder and do this and do that. So it is in the company that you keep.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. By you catching that charge because of a boyfriend that you had, how did dating look for you moving forward? Did that stir you from not dating those type of men anymore? or did you still was like, oh shit, one bad apple don't fuck up the bunch?
One bad apple ain't fucking up the bunch. Shit. That's what I was on. But now, today, no. You know, I feel like I was dating a boy then. Now I'm looking for a man.
Okay.
You know, so now I guess in age and in time and experience, that changes your outlook on things. But yeah, of course, I still, you know, wanted that type of guy.
So when you came, let me ask you this. When you came home, did you feel like you wanted to be back with that dude, or was you really done that situation?
I was done.
Cause I be wondering about that with women. When women go,
for me, that situation, I was done because I had grown so much.
Were you done because the charge, or you done because you matured, or was just nigga you did some foul shit you should have stood up?
No, I mean I can't say he did
fine.
He did. Yeah. Right. You know what I mean? He's still a very good friend of me today. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're still cool. We still like this. But for me, I had to grow and I had to develop. So therefore, I didn't go back there. Did I have opportunity to do that? Sure, I did. But if I would have did that, guess what? I would have got a motherfucking 15, 20 years that time. So guess what? I learned my lesson. So I'm not going to be foolish enough to go back with you again.
But you wasn't foolish enough to go back with him again, but you was foolish enough to mess with somebody that was like him. Yeah. So really, what was the difference?
The difference?
Just the person.
I wasn't involved. How about that?
But you know, when you deal in federal and stuff like that, it's like you guilty by association.
Hey, I wouldn't associate.
So this is where that 7 years coming at.
Yeah, right.
You got to give people the 7 year grant.
Right. Give them that. I don't know.
So they don't want, like, you're not going to commit the crime yourself, but you still got to
I was
because in your mindset, because I went through a phase where if I ain't doing it, they doing it,
right?
You're not getting in trouble,
exactly.
But really, you still condoning your old behavior.
Maybe. I mean, I'm not saying you. I'm just saying that's what it was, you know. And so, you know, it just comes. That's why you need the 7 years, you know, because
I don't hold nothing 7 years for you to get a job.
I don't know.
Job in the house 7 years. That's, to me, that's like pushing you back.
I don't want to say it's pushing you back. I mean, I just think it's giving you time to really mentally develop how you need to develop.
I think it's, to me. I'm not saying as soon as you got to give you the keys to the city.
Don't give them to me.
I'm not saying.
Nah, but seriously, like
I'm not saying give you the keys to the city, but I'm saying, I mean, because you get taught, like, really. But I also feel that too. A lot of companies will hire people with the background. It'd be the person that's sitting at the face of the company to let what application go through. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like FedEx can say, okay, well, we do hire felons and misdemeanors, but then you come in there and I'm the lady in human resources and I'm just like, oh, no, we not. You see what I'm saying? But the company
it does.
So it's really like,
but that's
the company.
Like,
it's the person, but sometimes
that's when it comes into pushing and going over top, and you know what I'm saying, knowing what's right and what's wrong. If you say you don't discriminate for this and you're not discriminating for that, then you want to talk to somebody over top of human resources.
Right, to make sure that they are aware of what this individual is doing.
Sometimes they can blackball you and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they I have witnessed where they have, right? But again, I'm like you. I'm going to keep going. Just because you tell me no,
right?
When it don't sit right with my spirit,
right,
and my gut, that means I need to go above you, or I need to go on about my business. But I'm going to get some answers because I'm just not a no person. But I do know sometimes we can push ourselves into something that we ain't even supposed to be there for anyway. You ever push for something and then when you get to you like, that's why God kept telling me don't do it. Yeah. That's why it wasn't working. Now I'm here. Yes. So with the dating, so now you look towards a grown.
I want a grown man now. You know, I want somebody that's like me. You know, now, you know, I don't hang out that much, you know. I want somebody to go to work every day. I want somebody that's family oriented. Whereas before, the ladies' man, you know, the quick, all and everything fast is not always good. You know, those things don't really appeal to me, you know. I want somebody that's more settled. So, you know, and a lot of times I found that when I have met that man and I have told them about my background and things like that, they're accepting to it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because they know I.
Do you feel intimidated? Like, have you ever went through? And we kind of talk because we sit and we talk about everything.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt like I want to talk to him, but he's not gonna understand where the fuck I come from?
Yeah, I felt like maybe I might not be good enough for them. You know, I'm just too street or whatever, you know.
But not even so much. Yeah, well, not even so much off of your persona, just off would they accept my background?
Yeah, everything about me. You know, like would you accept it or not? So, you know, you can't hold limitations to yourself because the person that's for you is going to accept you regardless of that.
That's right. And two, the person that you eyeballing and thinking I might not be good enough. This is my thing, ladies. Is he good enough for you? It don't matter what
good enough for you.
Yeah, because it don't matter what you've been through, because it's where you're going and where you're at now. You see what I'm saying? And so, always be true to you. For the ladies that's, you know, incarcerated, that's about to walk out them doors and just nervous, and you know, now they got the little jail thing going on where you finding people in jail or whatever, and you know, they're writing you and they're talking to you. You know what I'm saying? And so when you come out, it's like, okay, what does this really look like?
Right.
I think that you really should find you first on the outside, because there's a difference of finding yourself in a cell and finding yourself in a confined environment. Because when you come out the cell, you got the rec room or whatever, right? Or you got work release. Everything is still restricted and limited. Right. When you're out into the freedom, you know, out into freedom in the world, still love you the same way.
Yeah, you definitely have to.
And press through it. And don't be quick to get in a relationship because somebody could provide something for you that you're lacking because you are just now coming from being incarcerated. You know, that's what I would say, you know, to the women. What advice would you give to the women that is facing or going through what you went through and kind of on them steps of coming on out?
The same thing that you said, you know, it really all comes with self-love. You know, it really comes from what you feel about yourself or what you want, you know, within yourself, what you see your goals are. You got to set goals. You got to set intentions. You know, you got to write that stuff down, you know, and that's what helped me. You know what I mean? Just keep pushing forward and loving myself. Maybe because it was a time that I really didn't love myself. I didn't know how to love myself. I was never taught how to love myself. So I just kind of would take what was given to me and think that that was okay.
And it was
but now I know like that's not okay. So I don't want to sell myself short. So anytime you're not being successful and you're not achieving the goals that you really want to achieve, then you got to take a step back and you got to self-evaluate and you got to have your self-time. You know, your kids, your family, you got to have positive influences around you and things like that, you know.
And you
definitely it's easy to get caught up, you know, in the everyday hype and all of that. It's really easy to do that, but you just got to crush yourself.
So you are a mother of 2 boys.
Yep.
I'm about to ask you a question. Okay.
What?
Because one thing about me, I'm an interview.
What?
So I'm actually, but I asked this question that I ask any woman too. Would you got 2 sons, would you allow your sons to date the old you? Because you're very open-minded and you're very free-spirited and you're not a judgmental person. And we can say that until it affects our household. So would you be comfortable with your 2 sons bringing home the old you?
You see me though.
Straight up. I mean, it's either yes or no. And
it's okay you ask me that. I mean, because I don't want to contradict myself because at one part, one part of me would say, okay, no, not for my son because I want better than that.
Yes,
but at the same, but no. At the other hand, I'm still feel like I'm still good enough. So why not? You know, that young lady might just be transitioning and she might not have found herself yet. And maybe being around people like us will help her to develop herself.
Yes, I get me. Like the question was asked to me, would I let my daughters date
the old you?
No, not my daughters can't date the old.
I mean,
like
I'm
that.
saying
What I let my daughters thank you. What I let my daughters date their fathers, the old father. You know, they absolutely not. I wouldn't be cool with it. I'm sorry.
That's what I'm saying. But at the same time,
but I'm saying straight up because again, what put me in a situation with their fathers was because I was attracted to the street dudes, right? So put me in that situation. But it wasn't even so much you know what I'm saying? He that dude, and you know, I get what I want or whatever. Hold on. They had a genuine heart, right? They were genuine, they knew how to treat a lady, but again, they love the street more than they love anything else to a degree. So again, because of those choices, now my daughters don't have a father. So that's why I say that. No, I'm not. I know that because I'm breaking. I understand. Listen. You can't save everybody, little fella. When you get saved, then you spin the block and come see my daughters. That's all I'm saying.
Of course, I wouldn't want my son to date a person of my background or the lifestyle that I live. No, I would not. But at the same time, you still want to be that person that can be an influential person on them. So just them dating your, you know what I'm saying, kid or whatever, and you knowing, okay, but at the same time, that's still your child's life. They still got to go through it. They still got to experience it. But you can still lead them. You can still talk to them, and you can still encourage them.
The kids this generation.
This
generation.
They listen. They might not listen when you want to listen, but they're gonna listen.
I guess they listen when we ain't around.
Yes, they're planting the seed.
Okay, you can plant the seed. I'm just saying, because I get what you're saying. You wouldn't look down. Like
I would tell my kid, like, hey, I would give them all the advice that I could give them, but I can't tell them no.
Because you know one thing, like for me, and the reason why I say no, penis is bad. Vagina definitely bad. So, you know, we're like, okay, well, don't be so judgmental.
All whatever you can do is plant the seed. That's it. Whatever choice they have, whatever they like, it's just like on Power. It's just like when the what's his name? I don't know, the roommate and what's his name? Tariq was getting into it, and the boy said to Tariq, well, how can you judge me when your dad was this, that, and the third? Because Tariq telling him this is not your lifestyle. This is that. Right. It's the same type of thing. So you can't tell the kid that. They have to experience it and they have to go through. But would I be accepting of it? To a point. I'm going to talk to my kid on the side and say, hey, I'm going to school him. But I'm still going to, if this is what you want to do, this is what we're going to do, and this is where we at.
Right. And that's just like on Power, how Monet don't want her damn daughter going up there fooling with Tariq. But you know why she don't want her daughter feeling?
Because she done been there. She already done.
She been there, done it. But she see her father. She see her husband in Tariq. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. But she also know where that left her. Right?
But you see what that girl doing? Right up there with Tariq.
She damn sure is.
Then what I'm saying, when you push them,
sometimes you gotta push them towards them so they can go.
Right. Go ahead, talk to them. Yeah.
But I don't know. I think for me, and just because where I'm at now, I'm not saying I'll be like, oh, he's just horrible or this, that, and the third, because my daughters aren't perfect. Right. And we all got stuff with us. You know what I'm saying? Like I always say, everybody got baggage. However, you got to pick and choose who you're going to help unpack that luggage. And none of us is perfect.
But experience is always the best teacher.
It definitely is.
You got to go.
But the experience can cost you your life.
Exactly. But guess what? That's what it cost me. My life and my freedom. But if I hadn't gone through it, I wouldn't even be where I am today. So I'm thankful for it.
So let's see what this person has to say. My son could not date who I used to be in the streets because everything I was doing was illegal. Now that I'm older, I've walked it out. So
who else?
She said planting the seed. So let me ask y'all this. Does anybody have any questions for Ms. Struthers that they would like to know that may have, just some feedback from somebody that you might know that's been through this situation or going through this situation and they need a little bit of guidance, either me or Sonia. because that's what this is all about. It's just, giving back and giving the feedback. But I'm gonna say this to you: I'm proud of you because you refuse to let your past become your future. You refuse to let your past take you on another messed up past, or if you know what I mean. Like you just was refusing, and some of the things that we do, like you said, you learned from it. And so for you, like you said, them 5 years did something for you, and you were okay with, and you understand the period of the 7 years of, we need to make sure you straight for 7 years, so altogether 12. But at the end of the day, you have a question?
I have a question.
At the end of the day, we have a live audience today.
Yay!
But at the end of the day, you overcame it.
Right.
And right now you have greatness because she is a truck driver, and she purchased her own home, and she did it by herself with her 2 kids, with her own credit, did everything.
And I've been on Section 8 too. I ain't gonna let y'all even doubt that either. I done did all that. So for all the single parents that have backgrounds and y'all need housing, don't feel like I'm defeated and I can't get housing and stuff like that, because I've been there too.
Yep.
So I know that's always a question, that's always a fear, because that's something that I even went through. A job, I can't get housing, I can't do this. You can. You really, really can.
So this person says, are you content with your life now? New career, new home?
Yes. Very much so. New mindset. New eyes.
Who told you about that?
Yeah.
That's right.
So we have someone over here that's live with us that want to ask a question.
So, Ms. Struthers, what would you say is your biggest takeaway from your life story and the road that you traveled to share and encourage young women, young men?
We gotta reword that. What was the biggest breakdown?
What
What
is your biggest?
What was the strongest thing that you learned
And you took
from
away?
what you had to grow
Self-love.
to here?
Self-love.
You had to learn. Yeah.
That's
So
what I had to learn.
So once you learn self-love, everything else came behind it. Because it was like, I'm gonna deal with this, I'm gonna deal with that, I'm not gonna deal with this, I'm not gonna deal with that.
Yeah. Self-love.
So once you start so y'all hear that. Once you start loving yourself, everything else will follow. And that's true.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna tell you, you have to really, 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 and I all the time I tell women this all the time, and I keep saying women because this is a woman's segment. I keep telling them, ladies, you got to love yourself.
Yeah.
You have to. I'm talking about before, and when you think about it, how can you love somebody else more than you love yourself? And every woman that loves their man or their kids or whomever more than they love themselves, what type of treatment do you really get? I can almost guarantee you really don't get dressed.
Right.
You really don't care how you look. All you care about is pleasing everybody else because, again, you don't love yourself. Now, once you love yourself, you can pick yourself up. And trust me, when you love yourself, it's not taken away from your husband. It's not taken away from your kids. It's not taken away from your job. It's not taken away from your family.
Right.
It's just setting the tone for your expectations. And you're teaching other people how to love too, because you're a reflection of what it looks like to love yourself.
Right.
Because for me, I'm a reflection of what it looks like to love you. Because I love me. And I love me so much that I outsource it to so many people. And each person has a different level of love for me, right? But if I'm not doing you no good, no harm, or whatever, then eventually, what we going to do here? You see what I'm saying? So you got to love yourself to know what's right and what's wrong. Because if you don't love yourself, you're not going to understand when you're hurting somebody. You're not going to understand when you're bothering somebody. You're not going to understand if you're good enough for somebody.
Right.
Because you don't even know what's going on within you.
Right.
You got to find you, and you got to love you. And it starts from there. I don't care what it is that you're doing. You have to love you. Can't nobody love you more than you and God.
Right.
So,
and it takes a while. You know what I'm saying? People can say they love themselves because of this or because of that, but until you really go through that transition and you go through that phase and you by yourself and you praying, you got to pray. You know what I'm saying? You have to be spiritually connected. You got to talk to God. It's a whole lot more than just saying, oh, I love myself. Nah.
Because loving yourself is
I
on
love
the
myself.
outside.
Right.
Because they thinking, I look good all
Right.
Looking good doesn't mean you love yourself. That's because, too, a lot of women will look flawless.
And be miserable and broken down all inside.
Yeah. And so you got to learn to love yourself within and pour it out.
Right. That's why, sometimes I'm not real. That's why, yes, somebody asked me something about trucking. Do I love it? Yes, I love it because it's my personality. It's who I am. I'm not the girly girl type girl. I'm a woman. I'm a female. But sometimes I don't want to do my hair. I might not want to get dressed or look all glamorous and this and that, but that's just me. But I still love myself when I go out the house and when I look like that because I have self-confidence. I have love within me. So I know I might look like this today when I'm running to Walmart, when I'm doing this. But when you see me the next time, trust and believe, I'm going to be on point and I'm going to be in check. So, but sometimes
when you love yourself,
it don't matter. Because but people like, oh, why she looking like that? I don't give a fuck. I mean, I can do what I want to do when I want to do it. And I love myself. So I'm confident in doing that. I don't have to go out here and do this and that. So, that all comes with self-love. If you love yourself, you don't got to do that.
Yeah, because I'm gonna tell you, it's challenging. So Renzo, which is one of the viewers on here, you want us to catch you up on the topic. The topic is achieving greatness after incarceration. And so that's where we're at. And Sonia has been incarcerated before, years ago. And, she have achieved greatness after incarceration. So she's telling her story on where she used to be and then her trials and tribulations of basically getting to where she's at now. So that's what we're talking about, going back and forth with that. And then this person says, when you was in Texas, did you ever imagine you would be such a strong, amazing person you are now? You stepped away from the medical field that you knew, but was nervous. I think that's coming from the group. But was nervous. Yeah, I think it's coming from the group, so I can't really see it. Oh, sorry.
No, when I was in Texas, I definitely didn't think that I would be, I guess, the person I am now. People tell me I'm strong all the time, and they tell me this and that, but
you were strong to do them 5 years. Did you do any, let me ask you this: did you do any push-ups?
I had to. I was in boot camp, girl. We was low crawling. We low crawled. We did cadence and all that.
Well, and before you get to boot camp, they girls be there trying to do.
Yeah, I got my GED when I was in boot camp too. So let's not forget that education. Right. That was a great accomplishment because if I had not went to prison and got locked up, I probably would have never obtained that. So it's still. I hate to say that, and I don't want to say, oh, being locked up is so great, but it's all about any situation is what you make it.
Well, I think that what you're saying is it took for you to get they had to sit you down for you to understand I am better than that. And if I kept going down this road, I probably wouldn't have got locked up. I probably would have got buried, or I probably would have been strung out, or I probably would have went through these other changes.
Many things. Like prison can save your life.
It can save your life, but it's the perspective behind it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's like what King We Talk, like we are all about, okay, you go to prison. Our foundation, our nonprofit organization is all about helping those that don't have the mindset to your capability that you had when you came out. I'm going to go, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Everybody's not a go-getter. But even the ones that is a go-getter, but still need somebody to give them the resources to get what it is that they need. Because sometimes you got to understand when people get incarcerated and they're on drugs or they drink or they do this and they do that and they get locked up for something totally different, they don't get rehabilitation of their drug. Right. They don't get rehabilitation of their alcohol, substance abuse, right? So when you come out, it's still, when you keep hearing, no, you can't stay here, you can't do that. And Lord forget if you got a probation or parole officer that's just nasty, right? Because then it's like, now I got to deal with this. I'm on pins and needles and I ain't even doing nothing. Right. So our nonprofit organization is here to help you, encourage you, and link you to where you need to be so you can grow and prosper and have your career, have your business, be able to buy your house. Right. You know what I'm saying? To teach you all of those things that Sonia self-taught herself, or she got the guidance from her family and her friends along the way. She just refused to lay down and just say, okay, I got this charge, I'm worthless, I ain't doing. No, Sonia found her. It seemed like, to me, it sounds like you found loving yourself, and you found that this person can't give me love in the areas that I need, because look where it got me at.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, because when you don't love yourself too, you over love the wrong person or the wrong thing.
That's definitely true.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's kind of, because you don't know what love looks like.
Right.
So you're out there searching and trying to get it and feel for it. And so then you dabble in this and dabble in that. And sometimes it teaches us the hard way. But like I said, I'm proud of you.
Yes.
And you are a strong, phenomenal Black woman. And when it comes to dating, I'm going to say this to you, date. And when I say date, I don't mean date one individual at a time. Date. Seriously. Because when you date one individual at a time, you get hooked up. You can get hooked up and attached to the wrong person.
Right.
And I'm not, if you choose to sleep, whatever. However, all I'm saying is weigh your options. There's nothing wrong with it. And have the conversation to be straight up. And when it's time for you, when you feel like, okay, he has most of the qualifications, don't tear him down because of the two things that he don't got though.
Right.
Don't tear him down. Help him unpack that. And it's going to be okay. And that's when you start dating and say, you know what, I ain't going out with Bob because, you know, Reggie got it together and I think I'm going to focus a little bit more on him.
Okay.
But you got to make sure Reggie feels the way that you feel.
Right.
Because the last thing we want to do is get broken down again.
I'll drink to that.
So then we got Lakeisha says she is for sure one of the strongest people I know.
Lakeisha.
And I know her story very well, was there with her for the most part while she went through it. And I love her to life. She has overcome, and may God continue to bless her.
Oh, thank you, Kitty. I love you too. Thank you.
And somebody said, now you're talking. But yeah, so you know, you guys, you know, ladies that's, you know, transitioning, that might be watching this inside the Department of Corrections. You know, just know this: when you exit, have a plan and stick to your plan and love you. And if it don't make sense to you, do not make something make sense for you because of somebody else. Make it make sense for you, so it's for you, not for them. Right. And continue. Every time somebody tell you no, keep pushing up that next street. It's somebody there to tell you yes, and it's going to be beyond what you was going to settle for back there on that other street. And like Sonya said, God, keep him with you. You got to pray. And not only just pray, you got to work towards your prayers.
Yeah.
Trust me, I've been one. I work towards my prayers. When I pray for it, I don't just pray and let it go. We have to work towards our prayer. I prayed for a husband. I prayed for a house. Right. I prayed for a car. I had to go get that job. And if I wanted a husband, I had to put myself and start looking like a wife to a man. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I had to stop looking like a friends with benefits. I had to stop looking like, you know what I'm saying? I just want to date. No, I want a man, but this is my personality. So when I got my man, we're going to date inside of that relationship. And when it's time to get that house, how can I say I want to own a house when I don't even want to pay my rent? Right. You see what I'm saying? So you have to make this stuff make sense, and you got to line this stuff up. And if you can't pay your rent on time, what you going to do with a mortgage? Mm. Believe me. And don't be scared. Don't do. And I'm going to tell you something. All you ladies that's out there that's on housing, and you know you don't want to pay rent, and you know you don't want them to know that you work. Let me tell you something. You cannot want to pay rent while you're on housing, but then you calling yourself wanting to buy a house. You got to learn from somewhere, honey. As you start to pay your rent, that's going to build you up to get comfortable with paying a mortgage. Right. So if you're paying $500, $600, $700, $800 or $1,500 for rent, right? I'm on the program. Why should I be paying $1,500? Well, if you're in a $3,000 house, why wouldn't you pay $1,500?
That's exactly what happened to me on the program. So I got this career. You know, at first I was job to job. You know, different jobs, but still staying in the medical, you know, field or whatever. And so then I get this job, you know, I get this career. Now, you know, I've been taught that it's not just a job. I have a career. So that is still a different mindset to have. It's not a job. It's a career.
That's
so
right.
Now I have this career. And so your rent is going up and it's this and that. So it was to the point that you feel like, why am I even on the program when I got to pay X amount of dollars for this? But it was still, I still looked at it as a transition. It was still transitioning me to budget my money, to do everything that I needed to do so that I could be a homeowner. So I didn't have to depend on the system to do this. And I was on there for 5 years. And every month, every year, what it say? When I got that letter, and it say at the end of that letter, if you do this, you're going to lose this voucher. Do you know, after them 5 years of 3 or 4 times of reading that, how tired I got of reading that you're going to take it? Well, just have it. You can have it, and I'm going to position myself to do greater and better things. And that's exactly what I did. So now, when I pay my mortgage, you know what? I know that I can't be lazy.
Well,
I can't be lackadaisical too.
But you know this too, when you pay your mortgage, you are paying an investment.
Yeah.
That is yours.
Yes.
And then at the same time, you know, you read the letter, they saying this, but then you still dealing with stuff. Well, you want me to pay
do this and
you
that,
want me to pay you $2,200 or $3,000 or $1,500, but I can't even put up a damn picture on the wall.
You know, that's what I'm
and then
saying.
when I go to move out,
tired.
you want me to do this and do that. Well, hold on. This is your property. I am renting, but again, you don't want to be put in a situation and treated like a tenant. That's just like if you don't want to keep being treated like an employee and get
your own business.
Get your own business. But before you get your own business, you got to learn how to be an employee so you know how to deal with your employees before you become an employer. But that's the same thing with renting. You know, you on this program, get yourself together. If you on housing and you ain't paid rent in 2 years, it ain't no way that your car shouldn't be paid for. And you out here and you beating the system and you still getting food stamps and you getting all your income taxes and you getting all this. Why? To me, it's time to line some shit up. Line it up, get it together, stop complaining, and stop dealing with men that want to come lay up off of your program.
First time nigga child want to lay up with me and laid back with smoking cigarettes while I'm at work all day. And I came back and he think he was doing something. You got to go. Gave him a draw. He had to get up out of here quick. 2 weeks.
You said you gave him a drawer.
I gave him a drawer. Underwears and socks.
Start a kid.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
But look,
if you get up and get a job, you get a key.
Right. 2 weeks. Come home for that. You got to get on up out of here. Lay back, rubbing your feet.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, y'all. Listen, ladies, get it together. You know, and like Sonia said, she's been on the program. I've been on the program. You know, and people will say, why you this and how you dress and look like that and drive. I'm supposed to. You understand? I'm supposed to be driving what I'm driving if I'm on this program. If I'm working 2-3 jobs and I'm on this program and they helping me pay 60% of my rent, you damn right I'm supposed to be driving a Mercedes and an Audi or whatever else I want to drive. But you best believe I'm also paying rent too. So everybody that think when you're on Section 8, your rent $2, $3, my shit was literally $1,500-$1,600, but the house I lived in was $3,000. You see what I'm saying? And I've seen some females give it back. If I got to pay $1,500, you can take it and shut up your ass. No, because I don't want to be forced to live in a 1 and a 2 bedroom for that $1,500. So I'm going to take this $3,000 house and I'm going to pay my $1,500 and I'm going to live in this neighborhood and I'm going to be okay. And when I leave this motherfucker, I'm going to buy me a house. Because that was my strategy plan and it worked and I got it. And it you know what I'm saying?
You got to have a plan. That's the thing. You have to have a plan.
Yes.
Especially if you got a background. You have to have a plan.
Yes, and it's called growth. It's called growth, and it's called elevation of the mind. Because let me tell you something: never put yourself in a situation where a motherfucker can pull the chair from up under you.
Say it again.
You hear me? Never put yourself in a situation where somebody can pull the chair from up under you. And I ain't talking about in a relationship. I'm talking about your family, your mama, your daddy, your kids, your whomever. Always put yourself in position to be priority.
Right. And
it goes back with what? Loving yourself. That's it. And walking your walk and having mind over the matter. Period. You know, and I'm not saying, you know, you get up and once and also too, because this is what I don't like either.
What?
I don't care for when people get to a certain caliber, they start talking about the people where they used to be. Don't do that. Stop doing that. Right. You're not supposed to talk about people where you used to be. You're supposed to hold them by the hand and show them.
And
then the people where you used to be, let me tell you what y'all need to stop doing. Y'all need to stop talking about, oh, she thinks she cute, oh, he think he this, because they're supposed to feel a different type of way and move different because they have elevated their life and they got shit to lose. Why would I do the same thing that stopped me from getting here so long ago? Now I'm here, I'm still doing the same thing. You got to be crazy as hell to be doing the same thing. And God done showed you, and you done worked hard, especially if you done done it the right way. Right. Come on, y'all. We got to get it together. Change your mindset. Change your mindset.
You better.
And I'm going to tell you,
if
we
you
are
know
women.
Better, you do better.
Which Sonia is a woman, I'm a woman, and we both have achieved greatness after incarceration. I didn't do prison time, but I did jail time and probation. But I still had them charges, and I still had people tell me no because of what didn't happen in my past, right? But again, it pushed me to become a business owner. Right. You know what I'm saying? And it pushed me to do my nonprofit organization. And I have a passion for it because I know what I needed somebody to help me. And thank God that I ran across the people to help me elevate and get to the level that I needed to be. And I'm talking about a lot of my help came from people that I didn't even know. Right. And the people that I knew had the means to help me, had the tools to give me, and they didn't want to do it. But I'm not mad at them. I love them. I appreciate them. And you just got to keep it moving. Get rid of that hatred. Let it go. Apparently, it ain't the person that's supposed to help you on that journey. So go to the next person, and trust me, it's going to be something greater.
That's
something
right.
Greater.
That's
something
right.
Greater. So, you know, y'all, we got 4 minutes left. Anybody got some questions? Renzo, we definitely gonna keep up the good work, and we want to thank everybody for chiming in. We appreciate y'all. Next week we'll be on with another entrepreneur. She's overcame greatness also after incarceration. So hers will be next Wednesday. So we'll be on. Today we had to come on Monday because of her schedule, and she was out there making sure them rules and everything was straight for us. And, Sonia, I just appreciate you. Like I said, I'm super, super, super proud of you. Yeah, you did it because, we've been together since we was kids. Right. Eating dirt off the tie. Right. So.
Well, I love you. And I thank you for pushing me and encouraging me. And, you've been a great support to me. And I love you. And I appreciate you. And I thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome.
And if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here today. Literally today.
But ladies, for the ladies that's out there, trust me, love you, do what's best for you, and do not let your background determine your future, and walk your walk. And I am going to be doing a Walk Your Walk Women's Brunch in March. I will be sending out invitations to you ladies. It's a brunch that you do not want to miss. Okay, we're gonna be in the building, and when you come, I want you to come with an open heart, and I want you to come with an open mind, and I want you to come with a voice. Okay, because when you leave from there, trust me, you're gonna take away a lot. All right, so just keep that in mind. For March, I will be sending out invitations. We will be doing a Walk Your Walk Women's Brunch. Thank you all again for joining us and chiming in. We appreciate you all. And next week, it will be Wednesday. It will be another lady, Miss Toya, that will be coming on with us. So be in the building. Let's see what Shamar has to say. I definitely agree and see that as God molds you into a position to push yourself instead of flesh doing something for you. Motivation strong, sisters. That's right, Mr. Howard. And Brenda says, I am back at nursing my passion after incarceration. Yeah, sure did. Y'all sisters keep doing what y'all do. Speak. So Christine says, hello, sis. This is Rodney Lewis right hand. I have been listening to you, and I would like to say I also have a past, which you already know, but I want others to know that no matter what.
Rodney.
Yeah.
Hey.
Well,
you can never let your past dictate your present, but use that to direct your future. Use your negative to project you into a prosperous future. And what else?
I'm trying to my glasses.
and allow what we have gone through to hold us back. We need to get out of our own way and just focus and stay the course. That's right.
That's right. Because I'm gonna tell you, a lot of times, right, and I got on glasses. A lot of times, though, I pass, I focus.
Right.
We will get off course real quick because you know why? If it don't feel right, that means it ain't right. But I'm gonna tell you something.
You gotta get uncomfortable.
Yes.
You gotta get uncomfortable.
Yes.
And once you get spiritual in that thing, you gonna get uncomfortable.
Yes. I'm telling you, and it's gonna line up and it's gonna work and it's gonna lock in. I'm gonna tell you, put yourself in a room with people that make you very uncomfortable because you know what they're gonna do?
Build you, make you strong, make you confident.
You're gonna want to go back in that room and you're gonna keep on forcing yourself to go back in there. And one day, when you no longer feel comfortable with them, it's time to go to another room.
Right.
Seriously. Hey, all right, I'm comfortable with y'all now. Time for me to go. Seriously. But I love y'all. And we thank the basement. Yes.
Hey, boss lady.
We down in the basement. Thank you all for joining us. We appreciate you.
Thank you.